Hi, my name is Jamie Lynch, and you are listening to Eating Habits, my podcast about everything restaurants. I will explore the human element of the hospitality business, and I'll talk to the who's who in restaurants, explore their stories, and hear what's on their minds in the ever-changing landscape of the food and beverage industry.
This is Nikko Cagalanan, and you're listening to Eating Habits.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nikko.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm glad that you did that, because if I tried that accent, that would have been awful.
Butcher minute.
Yeah.
A lot of people does. Like every time I go to like phone calls and like people ask me for my last name, it's just like Callahan or Kavanagh. I was like,
not even close. Yeah. Let me help you.
It's not even close. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Such a big fan, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sweet, man. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like the first time I got here on the first year to the US, I started watching the cooking shows. And
so you saw the Top Chef.
Yeah, that's the one. Like
nice.
The most genuine move that you did there.
Yeah.
And that first time you were a Top Chef, I was like, damn, that's a good guy.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Cool. It's funny. I get it in the grocery store sometimes.
Yeah.
It makes my fiance crazy. Like people come up and they're like, "Oh my God, yeah, are you the guy from Top Chef?" Because my hair's a little different now. So they're like, "Are you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm Jamie." And I'm me. For me, I'm just like, "Hey, I'm Jamie." And they're like, "Oh my God, can we?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Come on, let's do a selfie. Let's do the whole thing."
Let me sign your shirt.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Cool, man. Well, I appreciate that. Thanks.
Yeah.
So 2011.
Yeah.
Is when you moved to the U.S.
Yeah, from the Philippines to the U.S., starting in Boston.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Why Boston? What about?
My ex-wife lives there.
Okay.
I love summer, fall. I hated the winter.
Yeah, winter's tough up there.
Yeah, like right now it's still winter here in Charleston, but it's like 70 degrees.
We don't really have winter here, man. Like, it's like if I have to put a jacket over my hoodie, I'm like, oh, it's cold out there.
Yeah, it's like 50. I'm still wearing shorts and t-shirt.
Yeah.
In Boston, it's just like.
Yeah, it's cold.
Like, yeah.
I grew up on the North Shore of Boston in Marblehead, Mass.
Yeah.
And I remember I go back to visit because I still have friends there, and it's beautiful up there. Yeah. But the winters are just wicked, man.
Yeah. I used to work in nursing home in Boston because that's what I graduated in the Philippines as a nurse.
Okay.
And then moved to Boston, work in a nursing home. So during winter, like blizzard happens, and like you still have to go to work.
Yeah.
Because like
nothing closes ever.
Yeah. You have to go to work, and like multiple times, like probably like 5 times, my car like spins like.
Oh yeah.
While driving, I was just like, Jesus takes the wheel.
You don't get snow in the Philippines, do you?
No, not like the coldest we get is probably like 70 degrees.
Okay.
75. But like every day.
Cold. That's chilly.
That's like December. December, January. But like every day it's like 120 degrees.
Wow.
It's like.
How do you deal with that? And it's humid too, right? It's like
humid.
that.
It's like you take a shower, you get out of the shower, you're already sweating.
Yeah. You don't even bother to like towel off because you're just like constantly.
Yeah. It's like you're dry right away. It's like the last time I went to the Philippines was like 2018. And the second I got out of the airplane, I was like I was sweating right away.
Yeah,
it hits me like I was like I'm in the Philippines.
Oh yeah,
it's terrible. It's so bad.
Wow.
But
so no desire to go back then, no, permanently.
Yeah, permanently no, but like I love visiting it. I still call it home.
Okay.
Like before pandemic, I used to go like every year. Like I was there like 2 weeks to a month, just going on like vacation with my ex-wife, and just like being there is different. Just like everyone is so like down to earth. They appreciate everything, every little thing. I love the food.
Yeah.
Like street food is just like the best.
So let's talk about that. What is the food like, or was the food like for you growing up there? And then like, and also like where in the Philippines did you live? Did you live in the city? Did you live in the country? Like, where was your kind of your upbringing there?
So there's 3 big city. Luzon is the capital where Manila is. And then we're in the middle. And then the Muslim part is like the southern part of the Philippines. So we're in the middle where it's like beautiful beaches, like you're surrounded with water. And yeah, we live in the city. And my grandmother, which is Mansuetas, which is the name of my pop-up,
Okay.
is the matriarch of the house. She goes to the market like 3 times a day. Literally like 7, she would go to the market, go back home, cook breakfast, and then around 11:30 she would do the same thing.
Back to the market.
Back to the market, because like there's not a lot. I mean, we have refrigeration in my house, but like
yeah.
she just loves doing like going to the market and like.
But she probably she did not, right?
Yeah,
Like when she was growing up, she did, and she
didn't
like
have it.
yeah. So she kind of like
which
is
she
old
loves
school that
doing.
way.
Yeah, she loves going to the market, and like when I was young, like I didn't appreciate it. I don't understand why she would go to the market every like 3 times a day. But now I'm in this career in the industry, so every time I go back to the Philippines, I would do this exact thing. Like I would go to the market like 7:30, and then go back home, cook for the family, and then do the same thing 11:30, and then 5:30 in the afternoon. I was like, all right, I get it now.
Yeah,
That's why.
that's
like,
cool.
Grandma cares about what she's making.
So what would she make? What were the things like thinking back? Like what are the things that she cooked that like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are they like evoke those like memories where you're like,
Oh yeah,
that's home.
In the morning, like when we were still kids, like our alarm clock is like when she was making longanisa, which is like garlic sausage in the Philippines, like sweet garlic sausage.
Okay.
She would cook that, and then we will like that would wake us up. Like the smell of it, it's just like different. And then on the same pan, she would cook the fried rice, garlic fried rice on the same pan where she cooked the longanisa, the garlic sausage, and just like that's like our breakfast staple. And then a side of like sunny side up. And that's
it. That's breakfast. Yeah.
And then lunch is whatever she could find in the market, like anything. Like in the market, everything is like fresh. Everything is like hanging, like pigs being butchered right in front of you.
Yeah.
Like chicken is just like hanging. There's no like frozen section.
Yeah.
Everything is like
fresh.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I miss it when
they don't do it like that in the U.S.
Yeah.
It's not like
there's so much rules.
Yeah.
There's so many rules. It's like same thing in like France actually. When me and my ex-wife visited her family, it's like they have open market like in the Philippines.
Yep.
And I just appreciate that.
That was my first like real like true culinary experience.
Yeah.
Is when I visited the south of France briefly and went over the border to Italy to a market. And it was like in a hangar. It's like an old hangar, looked like a plane hangar or something, right? Like a tin whatever. It with like sliding doors and shit, and you walk in, and it was just like, and it was huge.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And there's like stalls, and like it's loud.
It's wet.
And the crazy thing is like it's all like this was kind of a smaller. This wasn't in the city, so it was like a village, right?
Yeah.
So it was like all like the old ladies from the village were down there with the stuff from their gardens, like beautiful plants and tomatoes and like the nicest stuff, right? Because they keep the funky stuff. They
behind
keep
their house. It's in the back of their house. They take care of it every day. They water it every morning in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Same thing in the Philippines. That's how my grandmother does her like sweet potatoes and cassava and bananas. She would like take care of it every morning. She planted those plants. She raised chickens. She raised
chickens and all that, man. Fresh eggs are the best. So I think that's what planted the seed for Corey and I to do our farm. Like for me, and it was like that was something that happened to me like, I don't know, 25 years ago, like a long time ago when I was a young cook in New York. And I think it was just there, like festering under the surface, like forever, like this experience of like, the thing that really got me was the seafood market. So like in a separate part of the thing, like it was on the coast. Yeah. And like literally the fishermen are like dragging the nets up the beach. Right. And throwing the fish onto these like, big things of ice, and they're still like alive, like wiggling around and stuff.
The same exact.
And the ladies like, they pick it out and they just like lop the head off, put it in some paper, and they're like, off you go.
It's crazy.
I was like, man, that is like,
yeah,
I don't know that I've ever had food that fresh.
yeah.
Right?
In the Philippines, the market is like in my city actually. The wet market is like 5 minutes from like where they dock the fish.
Yeah.
So it's
the
like
big boats and like the
yeah,
fishing
it's
boats
like
and all that.
right there. You can see it, and yeah, a couple of times I went to my grandmother when I was a kid, and she would do this and that and just point.
Yeah, I want that one. This
Yeah.
one. They just
And she would always like bargain with them. It's like if it's $100, she would ask for like $25.
right.
I was like, what? No, that's not how you do it.
Yeah.
It's like a little
Did it
bit
work?
aside, but like she makes it work because like everybody knows her there.
Okay.
And yeah,
the seniority rule. She's like, I've been buying from you forever.
I
I'm
know.
not-
Yeah, you know me. I know you. I know your grandson.
Yeah.
It's just like it's funny how to see the way she do that market thing, like her process.
Yeah.
And like now I'm doing the same thing every time I go into the Philippines. It's just like
Yeah.
nostalgic. It's all the memories.
How has that affected your kind of the way you approach food today? Like, do you think about that? Is there influence in the way that you cook or create a menu or whatever that's reflected in that? Those experiences?
I mean, 100%. It's basically like a nose to tail kind of like idea. It's like growing up in like a very impoverished area in the Philippines. You have to like eat whatever you have.
Yeah, whatever
you can
grandma
throw-
cooks, like that's
You
it.
can throw anything like the fish, the tail, exactly the fish tail. You have to eat that
Yeah.
because my grandmother would like fry it, and then it's like a crispy chicharron.
Yeah.
Like we still eat it, and then the head, you have to eat it. Like
Yeah.
the chicken feet, everything. I was like,
Well, so how would she prepare that stuff? Like, so, because I know what I would do, right? Like, you're telling the story, and I'm like fantasizing about like what I would be doing with like the bones and the head and all that. What did she do with it?
my grandmother would just like, it's a fish. She slit the meat, like 3 times or 4 times,
Yeah.
depending how big it is. A little cornstarch, fry it.
Yeah,
Just,
whole,
like,
just fried whole
crispy,
fish,
golden.
and you just pick the nuggets out of the head, and
yeah, and you eat the eyes too.
yeah. So is the eye? Do you like the eyes?
I do like the eyes.
Okay, would you like try to get the eyes? Was that like something?
Somebody.
Did you have siblings too? Were you guys like fighting over the eyeballs?
It's usually my dad who would take the eyes because like he's older. He's like the second to my grandmother. But like the older you're in that household, the more you get.
Yeah,
It's like hierarchy kind of a thing.
gotcha.
But yeah,
So do you get the eyes now? Like, is that?
I get everything.
So when you go out to eat at a French restaurant, let's say you come to Tempest,
Yeah.
nice seafood restaurant,
Yeah,
and you get the whole fish. Do you eat the eyes?
I eat the eyes.
Yeah, I
Like-
love it.
I mean, you have to. I mean, I got used to it. It's so funny.
Do people do they side eye you when you're doing it? Like, are people like sitting next to you like, oh man, this dude's like eating the eyeballs?
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, what are you you're eating? You're eating the head? Like nobody does that.
I mean, no, that's the last thing I do. Actually, not the first thing.
Okay, you don't go straight for the eyeball.
Yeah.
That's like when you're kind of like you're done and you're like, okay, this
Yeah,
is,
bonus round.
yeah.
The eyes and like the best thing I ate when I was still growing up in the Philippines is like the chicken brain.
I never had chicken brains.
Oh my god, it's like custard.
Really? Yeah. I've had veal brain.
Yeah.
And so I imagine it's probably similar, just tiny.
Yeah,
Like
It's-
chickens are pretty
it's
dumb.
so
Like I
little.
can't imagine the brain.
It's probably
there's a
like
lot
this
there.
is the size of the brain.
Yeah. That's actually bigger than I thought it would be.
Oh.
Because Corey and I had chickens on our farm and they're pretty dumb.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's no way they have more than like a pinky
Yeah.
nail.
In the Philippines, it's like skewered. It's like so every household in the Philippines has their like stall of like yakitori grill.
Nice.
So every other household actually,
Okay.
they would sell chicken heads, 3 of them, skewer it, and then chicken intestine, chicken feet, chicken blood.
Yeah.
It's just good.
Yeah. All the goodies.
Yeah.
Nothing goes.
All
to
the thing that
waste.
doesn't. Yeah. That they don't throw away.
Yeah.
But like they turn it into something like incredible, and like they all made like different sauces too. Every household has different sauce.
Do you find yourself going to like the Asian markets and stuff and looking for feet and heads and all like the goodies that you can't find at the grocery store?
I was just at
So what's your store? We gotta rep your
we have one here,
yeah.
H&L.
H&L is the only one. You see everybody at H&L because it's the only one that's got like everything.
I mean, I wish it's a bigger store, but like, I mean, they have everything.
They do have.
Yeah, that I basically what I'm looking for. The last time I went there, I was looking for what was that? It's like it's a fish. It's called sup. It's like a small fish dried.
Okay.
So my grandmother would also like cure fish in the rooftop or of our house, like sun dried it.
Yeah.
Like fillet it, butterfly it, take the bones out, marinate it with calamansi, and then just lay it flat in on the rooftop of our house for days.
Calamansi is the best thing.
Yeah.
I've got like 2 jars of it downstairs in my fridge. So I got introduced to calamansi. I went to where did I go? Oh, when I was on the second Top Chef, the All Stars, we went to the place in LA. The name escapes me now. But it was the food, man, it was like a Filipino place, the guys from the Philippines.
Yeah.
And just doing this kind of refined, like straight up Filipino dishes, but like refined, like French technique and like a little more precision than like home cooking. And like I was mind blown at the food there. Like it was so clean and so flavorful. And there was some heat, like there was more heat than I was expecting. Yeah, right? I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, because Filipino food is not really spicy.
Yeah. Like I wasn't expecting that, but he was using chilies. And I got introduced to calamansi. He did like this pasta dish with calamansi, which I do like a kind of a knockoff of it now when I do like tasting menus because it was so strange to me. Yeah. And the flavor is so unique.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like a I don't know, you describe it. I can describe it, but you describe it.
It's like a key lime of the Philippines, so it's very like floral and like more on a sweeter side.
Yeah.
It's just like,
but it's got like a high acidity too. It's like tangy. It's like almost like a lemon lime.
Yeah.
Tangerine.
When it's super green, it's like super acidic, but when it turns into yellow, it's like acidic, also sweet.
Yeah.
Very floral.
Yeah. Yeah. Really fun.
It's like one of my secret ingredients when I make lumpia and pancit.
I don't know what that is. Can you say that in English? What is that?
Lumpia is the spring rolls of the Philippines.
Okay, cool.
And then sisig is like Anthony Bourdain's favorite Filipino dish. Basically like pig's head. You braise. We cook it 3 times. You boil it. You take off the snout, the ears, and then you grill it, and then you chop it, and then you saute it in like pans with like calamansi and like red onion.
And then what do you eat it with? So you got the chopped up meat, like what do you eat it like with rice or
and then a beer.
Yeah, there you go.
On the last episode, Anthony Bourdain being in the Philippines, he was like eating in the side of the street with a beer in his hand and like a sizzling platter in his table.
Yeah,
with that sisig.
That sounds good.
So good. I'll drop you up sometimes.
Yeah, please. I do anytime.
Yeah, I was making lumpia actually yesterday. I was thinking to bring it today, but like that, we were checking out that restaurant.
So my business partner Alejandro, have you met Alejandro? Mm-hmm. Okay, Alejandro Torrio. He's been traveling a bit now because we got some stuff going on, but he's Filipino.
Yeah,
and he is like all about like he was actually just back there I think this past holidays. Awesome. Yeah, he goes every once in a while and like I know it's been a long time since he was there, and I think it was like one of those like. You know, those moments where he was just like, well, man, it's so good to be back kind of thing. He was telling Corey and I we needed to go. But anytime you want us to test some dishes, like, let me know. I'll give you my number.
Yeah, you will. I will do that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Cool.
I'll drop you some lumpia, pancit, and sisig.
All right. So let's get to, all right. So you were in Boston. You decided it's way too cold up here or something. Like, how did you end up in Charleston?
So me and my ex-wife moved here from Boston to Charleston 2017. Actually, Boston to Myrtle Beach, which is like 2 hours from here. Because she got a job like teaching position there.
Okay.
Fast forward later, 2018, I just venture out to Charleston because like there's no good food in that area. So I was like, Charleston's like one of the best city in the country. So I was like, let me see what Charleston has to offer. So I kind of like venture here. I did a stage with Shamrock at McGrady's,
Okay.
and he was still here, and I was like, fuck, that 1 week like changed my life.
Yeah.
Like changed my perspective of like how food should like look like or like taste like, and just everything basically about food. And then I started working with at Zero George with Vincent Petrillo, and that's that happened like 2018 and 2019.
Gotcha. At what point did you decide that you wanted to start cooking, like professionally? Like, you know, like was that pre-venturing to Charleston to like check out the food scene? Like you at that point you'd already decided, hey, I want to do something in food.
Yeah,
I want to.
That was still in Boston, like 2015.
Okay.
I was just like bored when I'm like not working in a nursing home, and I miss cooking Filipino food. And I started watching like YouTube of like Gordon Ramsay because I want to learn more, because like I didn't go to culinary school and I didn't want to go to culinary school.
It's expensive.
Like, yeah, expensive, and like I already did 4 years of nursing school.
Yeah.
And I was like, let me start watching YouTube and like reading cookbooks. So yeah, I talked to a friend of mine that got me into my first restaurant, Josh Foley in Medfield, Massachusetts. He opened like a New England kind of like restaurant in there, and that was like my first opening a restaurant kind of thing that I experienced. He was great. They're still doing great right now.
Good.
And so, 2015, 2016 is when I started cooking.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And I didn't want to look back to nursing. I mean, I did like a year, 8 months to a year. I did both jobs, like 7 to 3 nursing home, and then I get off work 3 to 11. I'll go to the restaurant.
Yeah.
And I did that for like 8 months.
It's hard.
Yeah.
That's a lot of.
And I was like trying to decide which way I want to go.
Yeah, like is this? Do I really want to go down this road? Do I want to commit to this or
making more money nursing home, or like $11 starting as a line cook or like a prep cook?
Yep.
And I did the dumb decision to do the cooking. I was like,
it'll pay off someday. Someday.
So dumb.
Yeah. I mean, if getting rich is what you're after, do not decide to start.
Yeah, definitely not.
Cool. So it wasn't the money that lured you in. So what lured you? Like, what made you solidify that decision to?
So once I got into the Josh Foley's restaurant, Avenue, I just being in the kitchen, the intensity, the camaraderie. I mean, you build a family when you go in that kitchen, and that just felt different. Because like after I got here in the U.S., I have my ex-wife, but there's none of my friends here. I don't have like a community. It's just me and my ex.
Yeah.
And then once I got to that restaurant, I felt like, damn, these people are cool. This is my family now.
Yeah.
Like we talk every day. When I'm on my day off, we would still like like chat about food, about basically everything, about life and family.
Yeah.
And that I was like, all right, I'm in 100%. I'm not going back to nursing.
Yeah.
And
So Avenue was the place that like got the hook in you big time.
Yeah.
Cool. Walk me through like kind of that journey, right? From then to being like, okay, cool, I'm in. And now I've got to figure out where this goes. Like how does that pan out for you? Like how do you decide what direction to go, what restaurants to get into, and then which ones influence you the most, you know?
So after that, I want to learn more. So I started buying cookbooks. Like a lot of my money from working in a restaurant and nursing home started going to like buying cookbooks and magazine.
I had that same addiction. It's
It's also like I started subscription, Food and Wine, Savoir magazine, all those stuff. Just
it doesn't get better either.
yeah,
Just I mean, I still get stacks of books. Like my fiance will come up with like a stack of but she's like, "What's this?" I'm like, "Oh, I guess."
Sorry
I mean,
about
can you guess?
yeah.
It's cookbook. It's a stack of cookbooks.
Yeah. I just wanted to learn more. So the next thing I did was like ask my chef, was like, I was so curious about like Michelin star restaurant. And I don't have any idea of like what those are. When I was like on my first year of cooking, I was like, is there a Michelin star? I asked Josh, is there a Michelin star in Boston? And I was like, no, that doesn't exist in Boston.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I forget what I was asking him for, and then I moved on to a different restaurant, and I was like, all right, if I need to exceed to this career, I need to work for some like a great chefs. Like, if you want to be great, you have to work for great people.
100%.
So I started looking up like chefs that's like doing great in Boston, where I live, and then once we moved here, and I did the same thing in Charleston, and Sean Brock came up, Vincent Petrillo came up, and I started working with them. Just want to learn more every day, and once I got to working with them, I just like shut everything down and just start listening and just put my head down and just do the work, and I love it.
Yeah. So what is your cooking style like now? Yeah. So you started a pop-up.
Yeah.
And you started that in 2019?
Yeah, 2019.
2019. And that was in the
workshop.
The workshop space.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to get over there when it was still going on, but so now you're cooking your own food.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What is that style like? Obviously it's Filipino, but like
it is Filipino. It's like 100% Filipino, authentic, like on the taste. And it's like everyone that goes to my pop-up or like restaurant that I take over, especially Filipino, like older generation, they would say this is not Filipino food, because like the way they're looking at the plate is just like, it's different. It's not just like you pile rice and then you pile food. It's all like very like executed like very well, like the way I learned from McCrady's and Sean Brock and Orlando and Vincent. It's like you take your time to do the plate. You just don't like just pile it on this and that. So yeah.
So is your style like that these days? It's very like it's particular. Yeah, you played and designed the look of the plates and the plating and all that.
Yeah.
Cool. How was the pop-up at the thing? Was that a good experience? Was it like, did you learn a lot? How was the response from guests?
Yeah. I learned a lot. It's 2019 when I was at a workshop, which is the kitchen incubator here in Charleston. But then it shut down during COVID, July 2020. Yeah, I was there until like July 2020. I learned so much. It's funny when old generation, like older Filipino people that would come to my stall, that was like the most scary people that would go, because like they know how the food tastes, and like you can bullshit them too.
Yeah. Like, they know what it's supposed to taste like.
They know what's up.
Yeah.
And they would go to my stall and they would tell me like, this is not Filipino food. And I was like, this is my take on Filipino food. This is what's authentic to me. It's like, this is how my grandmother would do it. Like, my grandmother would put coconut milk on her adobo. So that's what I'm doing. Because like, adobo is not really like regional in the Philippines.
Yeah, it's everywhere. It's like everybody has like
household.
Yeah,
like everybody has different recipes.
Right. It's like mole in Mexico. Yeah. Like every family's got their own style.
Yeah, it's like my grandmother cooks different than your grandmother, and so I would always like defend myself every time those people tell me. But now it's like, all right, it's whatever you say.
Yeah.
I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. Yeah, it's
Did you get that a lot? Did you get a lot of that
Yeah.
from and it was mostly from Filipino people?
from the
Older generation.
Filipino.
Mm-hmm.
But like the new generation, they'll like appreciate what I'm doing. And it's like just having to represent Filipino food in Charleston.
Yeah. Is there any other Filipino food in Charleston? I don't know of any.
There's one in North Charleston,
Okay.
but it's like fusion.
Okay.
They have like sushi in the menu.
Okay. So it's a little it's Asian
and like
Asian fusion.
and like the Filipino food is like in the back of the menu, which
It's not highlighted.
Yeah, I was like, damn, that's
Too
sad.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm trying to do different.
Yeah.
I'm just doing Filipino food, and this is my take on Filipino food.
What's your mission with that? So is it just that, that's what you know and love? Is there any broader like mission to do a Filipino spot?
I mean, at the end of the day, pop-up is a fun way to start a restaurant. I learned so much, but like I move around different places when I do pop-up.
Mm-hmm.
So like if people was looking for a Filipino food, they're not gonna find me in just one spot.
Right.
They have to find me, like find my Instagram or this and that. Yeah.
What does the pop-up look like? Tell me like explain to people what to expect and what it's like for you to do it, because I've done some just to do some side stuff in like earlier when I first was opening my restaurants and stuff like that. I was doing pop-ups pre that just to make some money because I was like broke as a joke.
Yeah.
I was like, I need to do something to make some money, and it's a lot of work. Pop-ups are like moving your like a nomadic
So much work.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So yeah, pop-ups for people that doesn't know what it is. It's me taking over a restaurant that's closed on a certain day. It's like Sunday or Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And I would go there, prep my stuff. During service, I have my back of the house, my front of the house. We're basically like taking over a restaurant for a certain amount of nights.
Mm-hmm.
And the first restaurant that gave me that opportunity was Kwai
Mm-hmm.
with David and Tina. They let me take over their restaurant for a week. So I have my own back of the house. I have my own front of the house team. And that was like my first experience of like running a restaurant for a week.
Mm-hmm.
That shit was scary.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
How'd it go?
It went really well.
Yeah.
That's how I got the spot at Workshop, because one of the owner at Workshop was there, and it was like, this is great. Your food is great. Here's my number. If you want to be in Workshop, let me know. I was like, okay, cool. That was like my first time.
Was that Michael?
Mike.
Yeah. Yeah, we interviewed him. He mentioned that. Yeah. He actually mentioned that dinner.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
I was just in Nashville, and I did a pop-up there, and it was like, hey, you're in Nashville? Come stay in my place. I was like,
oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's a good guy. He invited me to do the after party for Charleston Wine and Food in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Like something, I already scheduled something, so I was like,
gotcha.
Sorry.
So what do you got going on for Wine and Food? You do have some events going on.
A signature dinner.
Cool. Where's that going to be?
Food. It's gonna be at the Wanderer.
Okay.
Which is like kind of like they have like a swimming pool inside and like a DJ booth. I don't know what it's like a small resort.
Nice.
Kind of a thing, a venue.
Cool.
Venue. But
where is it?
The Wanderer. It's in Meeting Street, I think.
Okay. So it's downtown.
Yeah. Right across Chef's Store.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right on. So it's a little
area. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm bringing a chef from DC, Paulo Donca, and the chef from Asheville, Nengs Jr.
Cool.
Like,
Are there still tickets available for that event, or is it sold out?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So people need to jump on it.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a great event.
Yeah.
Like this two chef is like the they're on the rise right now. I mean, they are on James Beard list right now. And yeah, I'm just glad like I get to represent Filipino food in Charleston, and now I'm having my first signature dinner.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man.
I can't wait.
Super fun.
Yeah.
Right on. So so you're doing pop-ups. Are you still currently doing pop-ups?
I'm still currently doing pop-ups.
Okay. What does that schedule look like? How frequently are you doing them? How like what can people expect as far as like
Yeah, so I was telling you about pop-ups being inconsistent and like being like in a different place. Now I'm in just one spot. I'm doing like a residency pop-up Friday, Saturday, Baguette Magic, 73 Spring Street. So I'm just there like doing 5 to 9 Friday, Saturday.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So it's not like a full takeover type situation.
Yeah. So it's a breakfast place in the morning, and then at night I take over.
Cool.
The whole restaurant.
So how do you do that? Like what are the logistics of like?
Oh my God, it's a long for a Friday and Saturday service. I need like Wednesday and Thursday like prep and like a lot of like putting everything in the car, unloading it, loading it,
moving stuff around. Yeah.
During like 2020 after like COVID, like I did everything by myself because I have to let go of like all my staff from workshop.
Yeah.
So I was doing like 5 nights a week pop up like all over Charleston by myself, like breweries, cocktail bar, restaurants. Yeah, it was a lot. Like 5 nights a week doing pop up. It's just like by myself. It's just like a lot of like
it's crazy.
Yeah.
I was doing them on and off around Charlotte.
Yeah.
It's called Cheshire Dinner Society, and the idea was that it was like an underground supper club, and it would change. So it was like wherever I could get somebody to let us take over a space for free, because I didn't have any money, and I was like, I have to like try to earn something from this. Yeah. So I was buying all the food, all the plateware and stuff on my own.
Damn.
And moving that shit around, man. It was
it's the moving part.
Like the first 5 maybe dinners I did were like fun.
Yeah.
And then I started hating it. I was like, man, this is just like so much because you're doing all the prep and you're doing all the cooking like the night of the event, which is the part that I really love.
Yeah.
But man, all the work that I had to do to get
the 2 days before the event is like brutal. A lot of moving parts.
It was a lot of fun. One of the things that like one of our kind of tags that we would do is that like the guests wouldn't know where the dinner was being held.
Oh, that's cool.
So it was like completely secret, right? It was almost like a speakeasy.
Yeah.
And then like I think it was like either the night before or 2 days before they would get basically like a handwritten letter that would like say, "Hey, come here." Yeah. Right. And and cool. Often it was like a back door to like
I'm stealing that one.
Take it, dude. Take it and run with it. Take it. I've got the tattoo on my hand somewhere. Oh yeah, there it is. There's our tattoo from the Cheshire. Cool. But take it, man. Have fun with it. But it was really cool. So we'd like we'd have like this secret entrance and stuff. People would come in and and then we'd have the whole thing set up. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of work.
Was that before the restaurant?
Yeah, it was before we opened Five Church back in the day. So we opened that in 2012.
Damn.
And I was the CDC for another chef in Charlotte who had a couple restaurants. Yeah. I was running kind of his signature spot. It was like a 40-seat Mediterranean place, like super. It was fun, and it was right up my alley, like totally what I was good at. But I met my business partners, and we were planning to do Five Church, and there came a point where I couldn't be running, my other chefs' businesses and while I was trying to get ours started. So I was doing this Cheshire thing kind of in between to kind of earn some money and just keep my house.
That's crazy because like 2012 was like not a lot of people knows about pop-up.
No, there was none. There was nothing going on. Like it's big now, like it's common and but nobody had like people were like people were like, what are you doing? I was like, just trust me. I was like, They're like
come
in
in
the
the door.
yeah.
Trust me.
in the basement of an old. I was
Under
like,
the bridge.
yeah, but I mean,
Trust me.
but we would decorate like the whole thing. So like,
that.
it was fun. It was interesting, but man, I feel your pain.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So what's the plan, man? You got to stop doing pop-ups.
Yeah. The plan is to get a brick and mortar.
Okay.
Me and my business partner actually just looked at a space earlier, like an hour ago.
Nice.
Don't
Don't say don't let the cat out of the bag yet.
Well, we're gonna keep looking.
Yeah.
I keep looking, but that's the goal. Is like to have a permanent space in Charleston.
Do you have an area? Do you have like are you kind of open to whatever?
Right now we're open to whatever. That space that we're looking at is in West Ashley, which we love that area. We might want it to. We're thinking to just stay in that area.
Mm-hmm.
But like if downtown has something for us, we'll consider it. But if not, West Ashley is like our choice.
What is your vision for this restaurant? Is it the same as your pop-up? Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like small plates, small seats, like 30, 35, 40. Just want to focus on.
You know you can't make money at that size, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I just had to throw it out there.
Yeah.
It's tough. Yeah. It's tough. Do you think? Do you have your menu kind of planned out and stuff?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. Are you gonna kind of waiting to figure out what?
Yeah. So this pop up right now, I'm doing the residency with. We're kind of like testing out some menu. While we have this, so we're gonna run it for like few months. We're gonna be there, and then I'm changing the menu like every week and see like what works best. And I'm also like there's no kitchen in that restaurant that I'm doing pop up right now, so I had to like bring induction burner.
Yeah, all that
everything.
Stuff. Do you have all that gear? Do you own all your own like?
Yeah. So right now
you've just been like accumulating stuff.
I have flat top, I have fryer, I have plates, I have bowl in my car.
Yeah. It just lives in there and you're like, okay, where am I?
Yeah. Oh my God.
So do you use like propane? Like what's your fuel source? Well, I mean electricity for the induction, but
induction.
Is everything electric?
Everything is electric.
Okay.
Fryer. So I have to like be very smart on the way I plan my menu.
Yeah.
Because like I can't do a lot of things.
Yeah.
I usually do like run 4 to 5 dishes. And like I usually like alternate noodles or rice because like I can't do like I only have 2 induction burner.
Yeah, you can't do.
You have to boil water and then you have to do the pot. So I can't do a lot of rice and noodles at the same time. So yeah, it's a lot of like planning and like editing the menu.
Right. Yeah.
But it's just 5 dishes. It's like not bad.
What do you envision the menu at the restaurant being when you finally get your spot and you're ready to go? Is it going to be a big menu, small menu? Like do you have to change it?
10, 15 dishes. Rotating for sure, depending on what's available here in Charleston. Yeah.
Does a Filipino menu gonna look like what we would consider like? You got apps and starters, entrees, desserts, or is it like, it'd be laid out the same way?
Apps for sure. It's going to be lumpia. Lumpia is going to be there since day one until whenever. Adobo for sure is going to be there, and pancit.
Are you going to do the coconut adobo? Or because
I've only been doing coconut adobo because like my grandmother would like stab me for sure if I don't. Yeah. It's so good. Dude,
I love adobo. We need to cook some stuff together. So we should do a dinner together. Yeah. You want to do it? You want to cook together?
I'm down.
Yeah, I think we should do it. I started last month kind of a cooking series.
Yeah.
Called the Quarter Deck at Tempest. Yeah. And the idea is it's a tasting menu night, right? Where I get to just do whatever the hell I want, right? Like I just want to like to kind of get where we're at in our growth. It's like I have a lot of chefs that are creative and have control over the menus. Obviously I can do whatever I want. If I want to put stuff on a menu, I can. But I'm not in the kitchen cooking the food every day, and that's the thing that I really enjoy. And so we started this tasting menu thing, so I can actually get in there and do my thing. Right. And that might be a fun thing. Maybe we could team up and do one and take it down the Filipino road, because I have a lot of experience with Filipino cooks and they're like cooking, and it's like kind of like you have a lot of like Mexicans or South Americans in your restaurants, right? You end up like learning a lot of stuff and like getting inspired by that stuff, and that might be a lot of fun.
I'm so down.
Cool.
I'm actually for the past 2 years. So the name of the restaurant that we're opening is Cultura. Just means culture.
Say it again.
Cultura.
Okay.
Means culture in the Philippines. It's like the continuation of what I've been doing for the last 2 years. I've been like collaborating with different chefs, doing different cultural cuisine, just across like everywhere right now. I'm actually going to Asheville tomorrow.
Cool.
And then Colorado Spring, and then Montreal. I was in Asheville last week. Just like collaborating with different chefs, like, and also me trying to bring Filipino food to that city where I'm going. It's just fun to like collaborate. I know collaboration dinner is not like profitable at all, but like that's one way for me to know people's cuisine and like to make friends.
Well, and I think there's a lot of value in doing stuff like that. Like maybe the value isn't in profit, right? Like cash, but like, you know, educating a population or a clientele is important. We got like, I feel strongly that as chefs, we have a responsibility to kind of keep evolving, right? Like the hospitality business and food and and keep people educated on what you can do. Right. And just because, you know what tacos you like doesn't mean that you know tacos, right? Because there's like the adobo, there's going to be
different more.
There's like so much you don't know. And so broadening those horizons, getting people excited about food and stuff is important. And that's valuable, you know, and then inspiration too, like keeping that fuel like going. What inspires you about the cooking that you're doing? Like what gets you like just fired up?
Just knowing that representing bigger than cooking right now. It's for me. I'm not just cooking food that I want to cook. I'm like trying to represent like a culture now. If you research Filipino food in Charleston, I'm the guy that's like trying to represent it. Like just like me carrying that torch. I know a lot of chefs in every big city in the US is doing the same thing, but like me doing that same thing in Charleston, it's just like it makes me want to keep going to the direction where I want to go.
How does that feel for you to be the guy that, like, if you Google Filipino food in Charleston, your Instagram pops up like that? Like that's it. And so you love it?
Yeah, I love it. It's rewarding for me to like do what I'm doing. It's like people started like knowing my name as the Filipino chef, and especially after that chop airs like 3 months ago, I was like, damn, that I just felt good to represent the food like in a bigger audience.
Congratulations, by the way. Right. So you won on Chopped.
That was a fun experience.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about, that was your first competition cooking, right? What was that like? Because I get that question all the time.
It's intense. It's like,
in what way?
It's just like you have limited time. You don't know what you're cooking.
What were you cooking?
So the theme of the episode was like bizarre food.
Okay.
So I had,
of course, the Filipino guy. We gotta like,
right.
They're like, let's call the Filipino guy.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Okay. There was like pig's intestine, crickets, rooster testicles, a lot more. I forgot what else.
The other side from the brain.
Yeah.
Right. It's like the other side of the chicken.
I was like,
so what did you have to cook with all those, or did you have to choose ingredients?
So the first round, it was like the intestine and some cumin soda and donut with pork floss, so I had to.
Yeah.
And the only thing I know was purple yam, which is like the ube. And I was like, all right, that's the only thing I know during the whole episode. The rest I have no idea what it was.
Yeah.
So, but like I was sure that I wanted to make adobo on the second round, whatever.
Whatever. Yeah, it doesn't matter what it is. It's adobo. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I did that, and it was, dude, I was like panicking. Like every time we go to the sequester room where we sit down and like chit chat with the chefs, and like this guy was like sitting in the corner watching us. Like he would ask us, "Was anybody wants to go to the bathroom or anybody wants water?" And I would raise my hand every time, like I want to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
I was like,
oh yeah,
nervous. Like everything was going on. Like shitting my pants.
I know the feeling. Crazy.
Oh my God.
So how was the actual experience of like opening the basket, and did you have any idea what you were cooking before?
Like not you like literally we don't see any ingredients
Anything
until we open the basket.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought it's like bullshit, but like
No,
that shit's real.
Yeah.
Like, they were like, you guys should act like surprised when you open the basket.
Yeah.
Like literally, like we are surprised.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know anything.
Yeah.
In that basket, and it's just like all the ingredients was like weird, and like I didn't know what it was. Like cardoons, I never heard of cardoons before.
Really?
So that was like the first time holding it, and like
you're like, what do I do with this thing?
I just shave it, throw it in the fryer.
Yeah. Just fry it for a long time.
Little dredge there. I was like, all right, that should work.
Did it work?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
It did.
Cardoons have a lot of water in them though.
Oh yeah.
Did they stay crispy?
I kind of like dredged it with like cornstarch.
Yeah. That's the secret weapon right there. It's like soaking cornstarch and
I
then
was like, damn, this shit's crazy. A milkshake with crickets for dessert. I was like, what do I do with this shit? So I just did kind of like a peanut, instead of peanut brittle, I did like cricket brittle.
Nice.
Just sake of the crickets.
Mm-hmm.
And I did like a Filipino street food, like a cake that's cooked in banana leaves. So I did bibingka, which is like coconut milk cake in the Philippines. So that's what I did. And
Nice. Congrats, man.
Experience was like crazy. Like even like on the first time we were watching it on when it airs, I was like, if I didn't know that I won, like,
you would have been like, why?
I got chewed out like multiple times. I was like, this on the second round, they were like, this shit isn't edible. I was like, fuck.
Yeah. But what you don't know is that nobody's is edible. Like, you know,
it's cold.
Yeah. Like sometimes, they have to pick the least offensive dish, right? Because like, it's just, you can only do so much. Like when you have a challenging situation, and that's part of the fun for people watching, right? Is like, they have to, if they just gave you ingredients that you could work with, what fun is it? What fun is it to watch a chef just like,
there's no point.
Right. But to watch them totally stress out and freak out is what they're after.
It was hilarious because like I was always being judged the last one. It's like
So you had to wait.
My food was cold.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I was like,
I got
like testicles like cold. I was like,
yeah, that was 100%. That was 100% why I got ousted off of the second Top Chef. 100%. Chef Ludo, who I have a good story about him, by the way. But I did chicken breast, like sous vide. Yeah, it was like cooked perfectly. Yeah, like super soigné, and it was like 3 or 4 of us at the table, and they tasted mine last for sure. And cold chicken is just like it doesn't matter. You got to smear in mayonnaise for it to be any good.
You're done.
Yeah. So like when they started on the other side, I was like, I'm done. I was just like, somebody pack my shit back there, like so I can just get out of here when we're done. Because
call me an Uber in 5 minutes.
I was like, there's no way that if Tom tries his chicken in 30 minutes,
that sucks.
I'm gonna survive this round.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's funny. But that's stuff that you, as a chef who's not a competition chef, you don't think about that. Yeah. Because people eat your food hot. Yeah. Like you make the order, you serve it, and you have to, like, if you've never done it before, right? So I should have known better. the second time on there, I should have been like, everything needs to be, everything just needs to be simple.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, they're gonna ask you back because you won.
Yeah. The champions.
Yeah.
I hope so. But I still haven't got paid.
What paid? What? I did the wrong one, man. There's no pay. That's funny.
Oh,
cool.
good.
So, back to the restaurant. What you got a time frame? You got what's your goal?
I mean, we're still like shopping for a restaurant right now, so we're just gonna take our time.
Okay.
We're not rushing at all. I mean, we have this pop-ups right now, so we're gonna.
You're happy with that for now, just to keep it
up for now until we find the right spot, and once we find the right spot, we're still gonna take our time to like have it like the best place you want it to go when it's open, and we're just gonna take our time.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, if anybody out there has a space for you,
right?
How did they reach out?
Yes.
How did they reach out to you? How did they? Instagram or
is the one? Suarez Filipino food. Just DM us or Cultura in Charleston.
Cool.
Yeah. Please let us know if there's any spots.
I mean, there's spots. There's plenty of spots. It's just like landlords are like pretty wicked.
Yeah.
And
you want to pay $10,000 a month?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's ridiculous.
Don't go downtown then.
No.
Like if you don't, because they'll get
the main
you.
Reason we don't want to go.
They'll get you big time.
Yeah.
Cool. So, do you go out to eat much?
Yeah.
Where do you like to eat? Give me your top 3 spots that you like to go to.
Right now, Vern's. And
okay, I have not been over there yet. How's that's Dano's spot, right? Yeah. How's he doing?
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, he's a badass.
Yeah, their food is just clean and like really, really like technical. It's so good. And then El Molino for tacos in West Osley. Oh,
yeah,
tacos.
Really?
Yeah, it's so good. It's a grocery store, but they have the best taco in Charleston for sure.
Cool.
And Renzo, which is a small neighborhood spot. They do Italian pizza, pasta, house made, everything. But they had like a little Asian twist in what they're doing. And Old Lease for Chinese food.
Okay.
It's like,
I have not tried that yet.
Oh, it's so good, authentic Chinese food.
Okay, so it's not like the American
they don't speak a lot of English.
Nice.
Like kids running around in the restaurant.
Yeah.
I was like, all right.
It's like a neighborhood joint.
Yeah.
Chinese neighborhood.
It's like basically like that's how I grew up in the Philippines. Like, we don't care about who comes in.
Yeah.
We're still
everybody's there to eat.
Yeah. I love it. It's like I live like 2 minutes from there. So we order like 2 or 3 times a week. It's just you should get the cold chicken, the saliva chicken.
What?
Saliva chicken. That's what they call it. Saliva chicken.
Okay.
Like open and close parenthesis, mouth watering chicken. Oh, it's so good.
Got it. Understood. I was like, whoa, that does not sound delicious.
I know.
To me at all.
Like I think on the first time I went there, it's called saliva chicken, and then the few weeks I went there, they
changed.
Put it says mouth watering chicken. Like,
somebody told them was like, oh no,
it's not gonna sell. So they edited it.
That's hilarious.
It's funny, but it's so good. That's like one dish there that you should get for sure if you go.
Right on. If you could describe for the people listening Filipino food in like 3 words, right? Like somebody who has not been out to enjoy Filipino food, describe it for them in 3 words. Do you think would get people to be like, okay, cool, I get it?
It's melting pot of the world.
Okay, that's more than 3, by the way.
I know,
but that's fine. But we'll let it go. We'll let it go. It's fine. So melting pot.
Melting pot.
Okay.
Just because we got colonized so many times.
Yeah.
And it's like all those countries that colonized us left their dishes, and we turned it into our own and like made it better.
Yeah.
Like, adobo is not even ours.
Yes.
It's
Spain. Yeah.
Yeah. And
but they didn't use like soy and like any of that. They used. But you know, one thing, I went down the fish sauce rabbit hole you know, man. Like fish sauce is just like magic, right?
You can't live without fish sauce.
Yeah, and in every region, in Europe, Asia, everywhere has a version of fish sauce, and they've been using it for centuries to like make shit taste good and to preserve stuff. But they all have like little nuanced. And one fun thing that like I play around with is I like to just like fucking mixy matchy stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so I'll like take like a Spanish or Italian like fermented fish and put it into like an Asian, inspired thing. And it gives you like awesome results, right? Because you get the same kind of umami and flavor things going on, but with like because they're not traditionally together, it gives you like a unique thing. It's super fun.
Yeah, when I make Caesar dressing, sometimes I use fish sauce instead of
Worcestershire or like anchovy.
Anchovies.
Super fun.
So good. Yeah, I feel like all my dish has fish sauce actually.
Yeah, like everything.
Yeah, everything.
They do. I learned about fish sauce like really. I got educated on it on the first Top Chef with Sheldon. Sheldon Simeon he's one of my favorite people of all time.
It's one of those chefs that try like representing Filipino foods like on the next level.
100%.
Yeah.
And he's a badass. His food is so good. And he just uses gallons, dude. Just like everything. Cause I would always try to like work around him so I could like see what he was doing. Yeah. Even like you're in the shit, like doing your own stuff. And I'm like watching to see like what's he using, what kind of stuff. And it's always like soy and fish sauce and fermented stuff, like anything fermented, like he would just
fish sauce and fermented shrimp paste.
Yeah.
That's like the staple. And then that onion, garlic, ginger for like the Trinity.
And what is it? So
onion, garlic, and ginger.
Onion, garlic, ginger. Yeah.
Used every single dish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What culture do you think left the biggest mark on kind of Filipino?
Spanish.
Spanish?
Yeah, there's so much. Like adobo is the main one. Menudo, fritada.
Mm-hmm.
Like those are like top 3 like big ones. I mean the other ones is like the noodles for sure.
Yeah.
Chinese influence. Burger.
And the noodles that you guys are using are they rice noodles typically?
Noodles. Yeah.
Do you guys use wheat noodles too, or not really?
No, rice noodles, mung beans, sweet potato sometimes.
Yeah.
Egg noodles.
Yeah, because there's not like no flour really at all in there.
Yeah.
But
yeah, mung beans and rice noodles, basically.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, listen, we're at like an hour. It's been a super inspiring combo.
Yeah.
How was it?
It's fun. Yeah. I thought I got nervous in the beginning, but this shit's fun.
Yeah, it's not bad, right? We're just talking about food.
Yeah.
It's just,
I love it.
Yeah,
I love talking about Filipino food to everyone.
Cool. Well, let's get together and let's cook some food together, man.
Yeah.
Let's do a Filipino inspired seafood menu.
Yeah.
Maybe we could do it over a weekend or something. We do that a couple of days and
sounds good.
See what we do.
Yeah, let me know. I'll drop you up some snacks too.
Anytime, dude. Yeah. Anytime you want to, you need a tester.
Yeah. Okay.
I am your man.
I'll keep you in mind.
Yeah. Like the only thing I love probably more than cooking is eating. So like I'm totally down.
Sounds good.
Anything else that we need to let the people know about what's going on with you? Awesome. Thanks for doing it. Yeah, man. Good to meet you.
Thank you. Good to meet you. I love it.
Cool.